Hello and a warm welcome to the ImproveYourPool.com World 8-Ball Pool Championships. We're at the teams final at the moment here on Sky Sports, and this is always a special occasion because it's quite a different form of 8-ball pool. With me to enjoy it, Lee Kendall, captain of England. First of all, why on England in the final? Because it's Ireland against Malta.
Well, Ireland beat us in the semi-final, played very well. I think it was something like 11-8, so it was a comfortable win for them.
I guess I asked the question because England are usually so good. Ireland I've seen in the final before. Malta, a bit of a surprise or not to you?
Well, they've been European champions, so it's the first time they've made it through to the final of the World Championships, and they're capable of winning it. I mean, Ireland have been here, this is the fourth time, so they've got a little bit more experience that side. OK, Lee, let's take a look at the two teams involved, and there you see it. And I guess the best thing, Lee, is for you to point out just a couple of players who you think might make the difference today. Well, the first player for Malta is Duncan. He's one of the up-and-coming players. He's a snooker player as well, so he'll like the condition of the 8-foot table. And the final player for Malta is another strong player, Antony. And
who for Ireland? It's a well-known team that have been here before, they've seen it all before, but again, I'm thinking of Derek Smythe maybe, or who else would you pick out? Yeah,
the captain's had a very good tournament, but also a young player, Shane O'Hara, has come over to the UK and played on the UK tour, so he's doing well at the moment.
It's going to be interesting, this. You can hear the atmosphere outside. And for you as a player, is it hard to play in that, or does it actually raise your game?
Well, you don't want to let your teammates down, so you get behind each other and, you know, just try and win your frame.
Who do you think is going to take it today?
Well, it's a real close one. I'd like to see Ireland win it just because they've been to 4 finals and they haven't won it yet, so I'll say this is their 4th final, so hopefully they can win it. OK, well, our man on the spot, of course, has been checking both teams out. Jim Weish has been on the case.
Ever fancied playing for your country? Well, welcome to the pressure cooker that is World 8-Ball Pool. Right behind me, semi-final action. Teams vying for a place in the final. You've got Malta versus Wales directly behind me, whereas over on the other side, the always tough to beat England up against a very game Irish side. And it's not hard to guess, this isn't for the faint of heart.
Great atmosphere there, and the Maltese, boy, do they get into it. And we're used to the Irish being that way, but I'm surprised at the Maltese reaction. Great, though, great to see.
Yeah, they get behind the team. They've been to the European final, they've won the European final. When we played them in that final, they were like really behind each other, so I'm sure they'll be loud tonight.
Is it a case that it is a bit raucous and the players need to calm themselves down? I was watching them outside preparing themselves to come in, and they are really psyched up for it. And you can hear this atmosphere that's behind us. Really, really, really tough.
Yeah, there's going to be a few players who come out today who haven't actually played on TV, so they need to just settle themselves down and just calm the nerves.
OK, well, the anthems are on for Ireland.
Ladies and gents, these gentlemen have really turned this year's competition on its head, taking out one of the favourites, Wales, in this year's semi-final. Please, a big, big round of applause for Team Malta!
So then, a little bit more subdued as the national anthems played there. Malta definitely looking psyched up, but in a quieter way, and perhaps that's the more important approach for the start of this one.
Yeah, I'm sure as soon as the action starts, he'll get behind the players.
You can see they're doing the handshakes now before the start of this one. Everyone in the team will shake hands with everyone else, but they know each other probably pretty well. They've been here a week, and they know each other's game pretty well too.
Yeah, and they've also played each other once in the group stages, so they're well aware of how good each team are.
Okay, well, we're about to get underway with the team's final for 2006. Ireland against Malta. It'll be a great atmosphere. Can Malta do it? Let's find out with our commentary team led by Jim Wash.
Two teams looking for their first world title. Team Ireland took out England, the fancied English side, beaten in the semi-finals, and Malta got here by virtue of eliminating Team Wales. And Duncan Bedzina, one of the mainstays for Team Malta, up against Robert Brady from Ireland. How vital to get off the mark. So much pressure. You're not just playing for yourself anymore, you're playing for your country.
Red ball spotted.
Alongside me as he's been throughout these championships, Sean Baker. And Sean, you know these players very well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the Maltese now, this is about the fourth, fifth year they've been at these championships, and most of the names on the team sheet are regulars here. There's a couple of new faces that I'm not particularly familiar with this year, but certainly Duncan is one of their up-and-coming stars and one of the mainstays of the team, and he actually finished top, joint top of the rankings after the group stages with Gareth Potts from England, and he actually only dropped 7 frames in 36, which is incredible really at this stage.
And now Team Pool brings a whole different perspective into it. And a gentleman sat just to Sean's right, has been a captain of Team Australia on numerous occasions. And you know what it's like being out there, don't you? Say hello.
Well, howdy, Jim. Yeah, the circumstances here are so much different to the individual championships. You're playing for your team, and the pressure of one frame pool is just enormous.
Well, that's right, Mick Delahunty. And obviously, a captain, as you've been in the past, it's down to you to settle the team and just, you know, keep the team together, because this is all about everybody being on the same page.
Yeah, certainly it's a common goal, and if you're lucky enough to win one of these, as I did a long time ago in 1996, great out from the Maltese guy, Duncan. Well played.
And in goes the black, and Malta have taken first blood in this team final. Duncan Bedzina returns to his teammates, and there'll be handshakes and slaps all around, I believe.
Yeah, next up for Team Malta, it's going to be Ivan Rizzo up against Willie Riley from Team Ireland, but what a flyer.
Second frame, Ireland to break.
It's frame number 2 in the race to 8. Malta taking the opener 1-0, and it's going to be down to Willie Riley from Ireland to get his side back on track.
And he's come up dry there, Jim. It's not what the Irish wanted. So after the Maltese have taken the first frame, they certainly wanted to come straight back and fire. A shot across the bows of the Maltese, but Ivan Rizzo, who's actually the captain of the Maltese team, so we see the break-off shot again. He's a bit unlucky there. You see the red just and the yellow hitting the middle knuckles on the middle pockets and not making a ball.
Well, Mick, I was saying earlier that with Team Ireland having taken out the English side, the heavily fancied English side, they had to be a prohibitive favourite in this final.
Yeah, I think they're both great sides, Jim. They really fought hard to get to this stage. I've been impressed with the Irish. They've kept it pretty low key. Normally they're very, very loud, but the whole way through this tournament they've just kept themselves together and very calm and like they've really got a common goal.
Well, stayed right now, having dropped the opener, and they're in serious danger here in frame 2. 15 possible to be played. First team to 8. And Ivan Rizzo right now from Team Malta eyeing up the yellows.
I think that was the important ball, Jim. Now it looks pretty simple. There's nothing simple in team pool, of course. The pressure just expands game by game.
Mick, unless you've played for your country, you can't possibly understand what these players are going through. And I've been there in World Team Snooker. It's just, it's a pressure that you can't possibly explain.
And that's a very, very good shot.
Yeah, because that was what his one sort of slightly awkward ball, because it was isolated down the table. The other 3 yellows are all in the middle of the table, and they should all be fairly simple from here. But as you say, it's a team game. The pressure of your teammates. As you see the Maltese looking on, expectant, and they're expecting their captain to take them into a 2-0 lead here.
But sometimes when they're there to be taken, Sean, that's when the pressure can mount.
Yeah, that's right, Jim, but I'm pretty sure this guy knows all about pressure. Ivan Rizzo, very experienced player. So he's been coming since the first year the Maltese made their appearance at these championships, and a really nice guy off the table. I've stood in the bar and chatted with this guy many occasions, and he's a genuine, real nice guy.
Played this very well, hasn't he? Just a simple pot into the corner pocket. Nothing simple under this pressure, but he should get this.
Well, his popularity level is going to go up a notch in a couple shots. This 8 for a dream start. Deposited, and Team Malta is off to a flyer here in Blackpool. They've just secured the first 2 frames against Team Ireland. And their captain doing the business. Frame 3. And Malta dictating the pace in the World Team Final. Stanley Kirkop just breaking off. They swiped the last one against the break of Ireland.
Red ball potted.
And this looks like it may be our first tactical frame. Mind you, if he can slot a red in anywhere, and the reds certainly look to be ideally placed.
Yeah, reds are definitely the ball here, Jim, with those 2 in the left-hand corner pocket. I think he's going, he was going bottom right, and as he fluked it, he's fluked it.
Didn't he play it quickly, Sean? He was very nervous, I think.
Didn't he miss it by a bit?
By a long
you
way.
See, he's missed that by a country mile. I think the saying is, he probably lives closer to the pocket than that ball went. I've been waiting all week for that.
And you can see everybody sitting back,
30 seconds.
watching, helpless. And again, you know, very nervy.
Just a very conservative approach. Surely he was going to take the ball over the pocket, get on the one on the bottom cushion. It was going to be a reasonably easy out, but team sport.
Well, so many times, Mick, though, we talk about pressure, and it doesn't always expose itself in the form of a missed shot. Sometimes, you know, the thinking process gets a little curdled.
Yeah, taking the wrong ball, things like that. I agree with you entirely. I've been amazed by this start, actually. 2 great frames by the Maltese. First time in the final. You just don't see that in team finals very often. There's normally a couple of missed shots early.
But a very steady campaigner, isn't he, John Cullum? He's relied on heavily, as always.
Yeah, I think John's, I would say, is one of the, I won't say the old campaigners in terms of age, but he's certainly been in the team as long as I can remember. John, and you say he's an experienced campaigner at these championships, and he won't be flustered. He'll just be taking his time here. I don't think you'll see too much nerves from him. But certainly the Maltese guy here, Stanley, is showing some early nerves in this frame.
Well, he's developed his awkward red now, so the table is at his mercy if he just buys himself one more opportunity.
Yes, I'm sure John will be trying to look to get the pocket near the black covered as quickly as possible here, just to make certain the black's covered and the 2 reds in that corner are covered as well.
You know, sometimes, Mick, when you jump from the frying pan into the fire, you want to just try and slow it down, buy yourself some time, and, you know, get control of your emotions.
Time running.
Well, certainly John won't be finishing at this visit, one wouldn't think, so he needs to do something to make certain the Maltese player can't go game in the next visit. he's certainly going to have to just play a safety here somehow. He's going to, as I suggested, try and cover this corner where the black is.
Yeah, just slither that yellow in front of the pocket, but a deft touch required here.
30 seconds.
His white's really, he hasn't got great control of the white if he plays that shot either, so it's nothing really easy here, is there?
He's looking to play yellow over to this left-hand corner pocket. I'll tell you what, he only just made the rail there with that yellow. If he contacted the red a little bit fuller, I don't think the yellow ball would have made the rail. It would have been a foul, but he's okay.
Yeah, something else too to note is where the 8 ball's finished on top of that red. Had he not nudged that 8 down to cover that red, game would have been on here.
Game was on right from the start though, but Stanley didn't really look as though he was going to be much chance of getting it. I think he's pretty nervous, this young man.
Well, he's not covered that.
Yeah, not a good shot. He hasn't covered the pocket at all.
There's no question that John seems the calmer of the two, even though he's had the worst run of, well, the yellows have certainly been worse than the reds, but this game's back to even money a bit, I think. He's going to try and get this yellow in front of the 2 reds. It's a bad shot.
Well, that was a poor shot there from John.
2 visits.
I think he's been a little bit fortunate where he's finished. You see, he just puts his hand up there to Stanley because he knows he's got out of jail a little bit there. He's left him nothing really to begin with. He's got the ball bottom right hand corner pocket, but he's queuing over the red and the yellow's very close to it. And then whether he'll still go game or not is another matter.
Very poor shot from John. He seemed to be calm enough, but maybe he's feeling it a little bit out there as well, Jim.
Well, that was a handy shot. It may well have developed that red by the black, and if he takes this on and gets it, and that, of course, assuming the black is available, mind you, he could nudge it into the open here.
He certainly could, Jim, yes. Well, it's a great shot, but he doesn't take much time. I wouldn't want my life on him right now, I can tell you.
He's just composing himself now.
He's overdone this.
May have even put that black save. I think it's probably still on into the corner.
A little bit of a head shake, and that lets you know how he feels, but I doubt that this man has seen the TV cameras very often in his career.
He's missed that by a long, long way, hasn't he? He's feeling it out there, Jim. There's no question of that.
Seconds.
That's a better shot from John.
Yeah, this is the chance.
Now, I think it's the wrong way. This should have been his last ball.
30
because
seconds.
it was a fairly simple out
Easy shot
from
for the
there.
black.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have to do anything for the black, but he's
not
obviously
bad,
got
though.
his own way, and he's decided which way he's going to go.
Well, this isn't bad. If he can pop the yellow that's in the middle of the table, screw back onto the one up the rail, then he may take the one near the black first as well. There's a few options here. Doesn't want to finish with that ball on the cushion last, that's all, as you suggested.
You hear the 30-second call, so he's got down, he's decided what he's going to do now. And he's taking your option, Mick.
I think it was the right way, Sean. He needed to get rid of it as early as possible. You just don't want to leave them there. It puts too much pressure on at the end. If you just roll this in, he'll have a little bit of angle on the one down the rail. He'll be able to screw across the black to get on the one at the bottom.
Is this the type of shot that you play either in or over the pocket?
Certainly your back arm's not moving as well as it normally does. I'd suggest he's a bit nervy. He might just stun it in and bring the bite off the cushion just a little bit. Leave himself an angle on the next one. But he won't be overhitting it, Jim, you're right.
This shot will tell a tale.
30
the
seconds.
speed that he plays it.
Just ticking a little bit below the centre. So he should just come back a bit.
I had a feeling he might miss that.
Yeah, good call, Jim. You showed your experience. You've seen this before, that's for sure.
Well, you know something? If a player's confident, he does punch it in, get the cue ball away from the cushion. If he's not, he wants that added bit of security, leaving it over the pocket.
And it's by no means a bad shot, but giving another player an extra shot can always cause you hassles. This boy's taking no time at all, though, is he? He's just very nervous.
And he's had a great result, though, really,
Huge
there.
result.
And I think the
30
Irish
seconds.
team feel pretty much the same as us.
I think the ball we saw along the rail from Johnny may have attacked if he'd been playing a player that he felt was probably capable of going game under these circumstances, but it's a good shot from John.
And what money would you have on him not making the red here, Jim?
Total snooker. Time running.
Yeah, it's just confirmed there by the referee Andy Price that he's in a total snooker, so all he does have to do is contact one of his balls. He doesn't have to drive a ball to a rail or pocket a ball.
I mean, at no time has his expression even looked like he was relaxed.
Well, 2 visits.
Well, there's another one of your sayings. Sean, go ahead. How far did he miss that by?
No, at least he wasn't trying to pot there. I mean, I did suggest that he wasn't going to get too close to one of those reds. This, just the way he's been in this frame, he's just been too quick. So he's obviously extremely nervous, and he's going to feel the pressure. He's seen his team go 2-0 up. He knows he's next up with the break, and he had a great chance right at the beginning. He panicked. He didn't take his time.
Easy to talk
30
about, but
seconds.
the pressure out there is enormous, and playing for your country is just a great thrill, but it can send you the wrong way sometimes.
Well, Mick, one thing about it, he hasn't hidden the fact that he's nervous either. It's been written all over his face right from the outset. So, and I think John Collum, I think he felt that as well.
I think John's felt it. He's certainly calmed himself down a lot better than the other player, but I think we've all been here. We all know what it's like. Very nerve-wracking at times.
Well, certainly, but the experience that he's shown, at least he masks the pressure by taking time, and you don't feel like you're going to get anything careless. Having said that, that wasn't his best effort, but he's still got a visit in hand.
You see the Irish team there looking on. I think the Irish eyes would have been smiling a bit more if this yellow would have been a lot easier than this. But he's definitely going to run to the black.
Yeah, he'll just waste one here. Won't he? Just push it to the cushion and back out a little bit. It'd be a bit silly to go for it. He could pot the black in the middle out of turn or anything if he was unlucky. So he'll just waste a shot here, I think.
I don't think so. I think he'll go for the yellow and use his 2 visits on the black.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Sorry to disagree with you again.
Well,
Mick,
it'd be an interesting one. I know what I'd be doing. I'd be scared out of my wits. Wrong again, wasn't I? That black went awful close to that centre pocket.
You were
though.
right. You were right, Mick. I will bow to your superior knowledge on that one. But John was he was convinced he knew what he was doing. So
No question, Sean. And it was a great shot, as it turned out.
And what a beautiful position he's in now as he strides back around the table to eye up this long 8.
And do you think you'll punch this one in, Jim?
I don't think you'll see this hit too hard, Mick.
I agree entirely.
Dollies it up over the pocket, and this to get Ireland off the mark. They still trail. It's Malta 2, Ireland 1 in the race to 8.
A big roar of approval then as Ireland get on the board, and remember they've never won this World Championship. A little bit of a nervy start by the player who's just been playing for Malta, but a great start from the first 2 players. Bazzini and Rizzo got away well.
Yeah, they put the Ireland team under pressure with 2 break-and finishes, and the last frame was a bit nervous. Stanley struggled a little bit in that one, but they've still got the lead 2-1.
I'm beginning to realise watching it just how tough it is, because you're all good players and you're desperate to get out there or advise the player who's having a few problems, and of course you may be up next, and so the nerves tend to build both for the player you're watching and for yourself.
You live every moment of the final.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, we are in that final. It's 2-1 at the moment. Can Ireland level the scores as we head back down to the table and our commentary team?
Another young
Full
player
frame,
coming
Ireland
out
to break.
for both sides.
Trailing by 1 frame to 2.
Shane O'Hara will have the break for Team Ireland, and he'll be up against Adrian Camilleri for Team Malta. It's frame number 4, Ireland to break, trailing 2-1. Shane O'Hara looking for a ball down, and I didn't hear any noise, so it brings Adrian Camilleri to the table. Sean, any experience out there? What can you tell me about these 2?
well, I certainly know Shane because he's playing on the UK tour this year. and he's been in a little bit of purple patch recently. He reached the last 16 of professional event, or it was an open event actually, but he's mixed in there with the professionals, and he's just missed out on a place in the quarter-finals, but he's played excellent all weekend. Also on the UK tour, he got to the latter stages.
30 seconds.
And certainly these championships, he's carried that form forward. He finished in the top 12 players with 22 out of 36 frames, which is fantastic really, because some of the frames you could lose a lot of frames, but you just stand and watch your opponent break and finish, and you've done nothing wrong, and you can lose 5 or 6, 7 frames over a championship.
Now I see a little different player here from Malta. Now, even though you know this young man is nervous, at least he's taken a little more time, and he's given himself a chance to gather his concentration, because you don't try and hide the fact that you're nervous, you embrace it. That's the key.
Yeah, and this guy's Adrian's one of the younger stars of the Maltese team. I think he was here last year in the championships, but certainly not one of the established stars. But he's certainly, as you say, he's taking his time. He's nice and measured. And we talked about this in other matches previously, where they've got a nice rhythm. They're not rushing shots. They're not. They just, you know, it's nice and composed at the table.
I have a philosophy, Mick. You know what my philosophy is when I'm really nervous? I want to look good missing.
Yeah, well, I spend my time telling myself how many times I've done this before, Jim. That's my theory on it. I know it's nerve-wracking playing for your country, but the thrill of winning under these circumstances is the best thrill you can possibly have in your life. And I just tell myself I'm good enough, I've done it before, handle the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been unfortunate. I've not actually been out in this position. Jim, you say you've played in the team snooker for Canada, and Jim and Mick, you team out Australia. But it's a similar way to refereeing sometimes, that you get out there and you're really nervous and you're edgy, and you just have to sort of take a few deep breaths and you say, right, I've been here, I've done this before, I know what I'm doing, and just get on with it. That looked like a serious foul.
Well, watch it again. He just jabbed. He didn't stroke. He just jabbed that one.
Now, does that mean, Sean, the white ball has to be replaced to where it was?
The white ball should be replaced on the tables to where it was, because that was a serious foul.
And the definition of a serious foul?
Well, it's a series of fouls that they're not standard fouls, Jim. Say the jump shot is one of them. There's some. It looks like he's given him cue ball in hand here. Now this is wrong.
I mean, Sean, you're going to have to enlighten certainly me and the folks at home. Could you expand on that? I mean, you feel it's wrong because the cue ball should have been replaced?
I think the cue ball should have been replaced there, because it certainly looked from the angle we saw where the yellow has jumped. The cue ball has jumped over the yellow. If it's jumped over a ball, it would have struck under a normal shot, and I think he's jumped over that yellow. Now, whether Andy was in a position where he thought he hadn't, and it's gone to the side, and therefore that's why he's given him cue ball in hand. But from the camera angle we had, it certainly looked like it's gone over the yellow, and I say, should have been the serious foul called and the cue ball replaced.
As it turns out, it probably won't affect the result of the game. Where the white was compared to ball in hand, there's not much different. It's just it's a technicality on the rules, and the rule is serious foul, the white ball, and any balls touched in that shot should be replaced to where they were.
Any other balls that are moved in that situation.
But he would still have 2 visits.
He would still have 2 visits, yeah. He's just queuing up there, looks where he wants to play this red. He's actually leaning over the yellow ball. That's why you see Andy was in there close, looking at his waistcoat.
This would be very inspiring for Team Ireland after dropping the first 2 frames, if they could get back to level pegging here.
Well, realistically, they've looked a lot more composed, haven't they, Jim? They no shots and the 1 break in the first 2 frames, so they've done nothing wrong. When they have got to the table in the last 2 frames, they've looked a lot more composed, taken their time, working it out, and as we talked about earlier, they must start favourite, especially if they're able to get back to 2-2 here.
It almost looks like Team Malta had all their bankers at the front end, and Ireland, well, they've still got some great players to come.
Yeah, I did suggest that. They've loaded probably the two of the biggest guns at the beginning, and they've loaded a couple of the big guns at the end as well. So they've left this middle of the team exposed, I think, to Team Ireland.
At the same time, these guys must have played very well during the tournament. I know that during the game against Australia, they led us. Sorry, we led them 8-4, and they've come back to beat us 12-9. So all of their players must have played well at some stage. Inexperience may show, though.
Just needs one good shot here.
2 visits to go as well,
He has got 2 visits, yeah, but these things can go wrong.
No question.
Just wants to be certain. You can take a look at his face and almost scowling at the balls, just totally wrapped in concentration.
Taking plenty of time, which is very good under the
30
circumstances.
seconds.
Yeah, I mean, similar to John Collum in the last frame. Did exactly the same. You heard 37's quite a lot.
Second visit.
That's okay. He'll just bump the red onto the other red again and leave it over the pocket. It's just going to be really positioned from the last red to the 8.
Just makes it a bit nerve-wracking. It's wonderful when you've got 2 shots getting onto that black. There's no question of that. But looks like the black goes 2 different spots, either into the middle pocket or to the corner pocket. So he can go too far or not far enough and still have a pretty reasonable shot at the black.
Just bump this in and slide up the side cushion. Beautiful play, nice pace, and leaving the easiest of 8. And Ireland loves it. And Shane O'Hara parks that 8 ball to the bottom of the pocket, and with it, level pegging here in Blackpool, 2-2.
Frame, Ireland to break, leading by 3 frames to 2.
Big moment. 3-2 in favor of Team Ireland. They've taken the last 3 in a row. And Gavin Garrity wants to continue and ride this wave home.
I'll tell you what, he was lucky there. That cue ball was heading for the top right-hand corner pocket. He's got nudged out of the way, and it was a red or a yellow that's gone in there as well. And he's had a great split there.
They all look pretty good, don't they, Sean? There's one red that needs to get to be got on, and a couple of yellows on cushion, but he's certainly a chance of finishing off here.
Just watch this cue ball here. You see it screwing back towards that top corner pocket, and that yellow's nudged it out of the way and finished in the pocket, closely followed by a red ball. But,
certainly had a bit of luck there, that's for sure, Sean.
Yes, and one of the few players, too, you'll notice that actually employed a break cue. He went and changed cues. Boy, those reds are sitting nice. Just that one difficult one up the top of the table as we look. And
I think, well, he's got a chance here. He could run through that one to the top left, but he's got the 2 balls, certainly the one that's above the middle left-hand pocket. He could use that just to drop in behind that.
He's got a few options.
A bit of an angle. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this is a personal preference thing again, as to which way he'll go. But I certainly think he'll use one of those balls to get in behind that.
No question, Sean.
I think he intended to run further to play this red into the left center because it offered the angle to drop onto that other red.
It's not bad though, Jim. I think he can just screw off it up to the top cushion, just back down a few inches and be on it right now. He won't be playing top. It's a little bit in offish, but he'll just screw, like I said, between the yellow and the red, make the red go to the top cushion, back off a bit, and should be a simple out from there. He's playing it soft by the looks of it.
Yeah,
very good shot.
He's held nicely there. I don't think he was too comfortable with the shot you were suggesting, Mick, there. I think, like you say, you've seen probably 1 or 2 of the English lads, that'd have been the sort of shot they'd have been playing.
Yeah,
somebody like Twisty or Gareth Potts. But
these boys are pushing the ball a little bit, but under the circumstances, that's very understandable. First time, big chance to win a World Teams final. What an experience that'll be for them.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is one of the first timers as well for Ireland. I've certainly not seen him before at these championships.
Oh, he cued that beautifully.
He's handling it a little bit. Now the perfect shot here is just to screw back a little bit off this red and get closer to the other one, but they have just been rolling them in. Let's see if he takes a bit of confidence and gets right over there. Make it easier. Where he's just put the tip of the cue. A little bit of confidence, bit of bottom, just screw over to the next friend. That's a good shot.
Yeah, he looks very
Good
settled
shot.
too. There's no movement, Nick, and that's always a sign of nerves. When that head stays very still over the cue, you've got
Nice.
a man in control of himself.
That's it. Now, a nice confident shot here. A little bit more, little bit of bottom again. Make the white ball come back to about where he is right now. Great shot.
Again, he has been in total control of that cue ball from the outset. It was a great break that laid the brickwork for this, but Team Ireland starting to get excited. And that 8 finds gravity. Gavin Garrity takes Ireland 2 clear.
Well, I said it was going to be a great atmosphere, and I tell you what, Ireland, what a catalyst John McMahon's frame was, and really now the Irish are flying at the moment. Irish eyes are smiling, aren't they, Lee?
Yeah, 2 good finishes there, Big John, and that last frame there, you see all the Irish guys getting behind the team. I mean, Malta under pressure now.
It's a long way to go yet, but it's a lot of it, of this sort of game, it's all about the impetus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a race to 8. I mean, Malta got off to two good frames, but since then the players have come out and they've just fell over.
And they need this frame now. They need to bounce back with this next frame.
They certainly do.
Okay then, we're all in the middle of it all at the moment, and Malta have to come back now because Ireland are definitely on a high. And as you can see, Malta are about to break off. Let's once again join our commentary team.
Frame number 7. Dire straits for Team Malta. Antoine Kushkeri up against Derek Smith, the captain of Team Ireland.
Open table.
It's just not happening for Malta right now.
No, and table doesn't look too easy there, either colour. Just had a quick look. You see there, there's a yellow in the middle of the top cushion, so he's probably going to take reds. Is that one on the, as you look at there, on the just below the top middle pocket? It's on the rail. Whether it goes past the yellow or not, I don't know. That's his only one awkward ball here.
On the left-hand side as we look, Sean, you're exactly right, and it doesn't appear as though it passes to the bottom left corner. So young Derek Smith is going to have to negotiate that.
Well, I was talking to Derek just before this match, and I said, you know, how are the team feeling? They're really confident. They are buzzing, these lads, and they found the 8-foot table a little bit difficult in practice, but I think they're used to it now.
You know something else Team Ireland did, before this match, about an hour and a half before this match, they all gathered in front of the match table just to soak up the atmosphere, have a look at the venue, get comfortable, and get a feeling so there'd be no surprises. Boy, I remember the first time I qualified for the World Snooker Championships in Sheffield. I ended up going to the Crucible Theatre about 4 days before I played my first match there, and it really did the world of good. It helped me settle in so there were no surprises when I went there, and I wasn't overawed. And Team Ireland did the same thing.
Well, it looks like Derek's going to have to play that red on the cushion up to the other end, either that or bank it somewhere, because he had a good look down a minute ago, and the expression on his face said to me that it wasn't on into the corner.
No, he's going to have to try and get either behind it or try and remove it, Mick, and well, he's played on it right here.
He looked a minute ago like it wasn't on, so maybe he was fooling me. I don't know, but
No,
we're about to find out.
I really don't think this passes that yellow.
Certainly doesn't look like it from here.
The old shrinking ball shot. And I don't think he's covered the pocket either.
Yellow ball's in play.
Oh, and as the captain, Derek Smith, just handed the initiative back to Malta here.
Off, please.
The whole thing seemed a bit strange. I thought he might have, if it wasn't on, you would have thought he'd take yellows. And when he had taken reds and it wasn't on, he should have been working his way below it so he could put it up the other end. Just seemed a bit rushed. He's probably under a bit of pressure himself. Captain, there's an awful lot of pressure on the captain out there. He's got to lead by example.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Antoine is one of the most experienced Maltese players. Again, he's been coming to these championships since Malta first made their appearance about 4 years ago. And that's a great shot there.
Terrific shot.
Yeah, double option, of course. If it hadn't sat, he covered the pocket. So now it'll be interesting to see if he covers the pocket or if he goes.
Well, he's employed the tactical path. Obviously, he was a little too straight on that yellow, I guess, to be able to knock it in and get position to the others, but the yellows were all available.
Once again, not a huge amount of time taken over the shot either, Jim. I'm making this red half looks like it'll go in there from a different angle, but he can double it back. If it goes back in, it covers the hole over the other side or goes in.
He's missed that by a long way. Missed that by a long way. It was the shot, Mick, but
quite possibly a little bit of poker played by Antoine there, you know, assuming that the Irish captain was going to take on that double.
Derek didn't play it very well, though. I mean, he needed at least to get the pocket if he didn't pot it.
I think Antoine will be taking that pocket now. This yellow down the rail, and he's got the same thing. He can roll it. If it goes in, he's still got the yellow into the middle pocket, and he's on a finish.
If it goes in, it's all over you. It suggests, Sean, you're right.
But he's rolled it for the pocket, and it stayed. You say he's taking complete control of this frame now, and Derek Smith is in all sorts of trouble.
How big is the hole over the other? The bottom red, there's a small gap over the other side.
Well, what if he knocks this in and removes the bottom red? Oh, he missed that by a country mile. But I mean, that shot was available. And again, a little quick. But he's got to go for game here.
Well, to be honest, Jim, he's not going to get a better chance here. He might just be a little bit straight on this ball into the middle.
Derek, who's played so well in these championships, obviously just a little bit nervous out there, I think. Bit rushed on his shots, like we saw with the Maltese earlier. It's a good shot.
Play the yellow onto the other yellow and leave the two remaining yellows at his mercy. He really was in complete control of this frame. As soon as he got the miss from Derek Smith, he seized the initiative, and he really didn't relinquish it again. Just a quick wrap. This 8. To pull one back and stop the rot. Ireland had taken 4 in a row. And the 8 disappears, and Team Malta with something to cheer about. It's Team Ireland 4, Team Malta 3.
Welcome back to Blackpool and the team's championship. Ireland against Malta, close at the moment, and we're about to start the second part and a few changes.
And 4-3, the scoreline has given us nothing from which we can base a final judgment on.
Ireland to break.
I can tell you that Robert Brady at the table right now from Team Ireland, a seasoned campaigner as well, and he's up against a man that played terrific, Ivan Rizzo from Team Malta. 4-3 in favor of Ireland. Frame 8.
There's nothing down. So that was Robert Brady's chance in the first half of the match. He didn't even get his hand on the table. He was defeated by Duncan Betzina. It was a break and finish. So the break's not been kind to Robert there. And this is exactly what Malta wanted. We're going to see the break shot again here. It's a nice split. I say just no friends there for Robert. And I was a little bit surprised actually seeing the team sheet that Ivan Rizzo was up there as first, because they weren't giving him the break. I thought they'd have given him the break, to be honest, after his result in the first session, where Willie Riley broke and came up dry. Ivan's cleared the table at that on that occasion, and it looks like he's got a good chance here, Mick, to do the same again.
Yeah, just the black has to be worked for, I think, Sean. Everything else seems to be on, but if he plays the red on the bottom cushion last, the black will go in the middle, of course.
Yeah, he's got that option, so he's just stood in the table, so probably one of the most experienced players on the Maltese side. Ivan, I'd say he's been running these championships since they first came. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
30 seconds.
It is surprising they didn't give him a break, but it's obviously worked out very well for them, as it turns out. Robert Brady, a great player for Ireland over the year, coming up dry off the break.
Yeah, but this man looked rock solid in his first match, didn't he? An easy winner. And he really was one of the initial players for Team Malta that got them off the mark and are keeping them in the hunt here against the favoured Team Ireland.
And this is nice controlled stuff here from Ivan. He's not trying to do anything daft.
He's just got a little bit far with the whites. He would have liked to have played the red just in between those 3 yellows on the left-hand side. He would have liked to have played that down, but his white's kissing into the yellow and he could lose control of it.
And after stopping the rod in the preceding frame where
seconds.
Ireland had taken 4 in a row, you've got to feel a sense of urgency from Team Malta right now to try and continue on with the momentum that Antoine Koscheri set out.
And this will give him position on that ball on the bottom rail as well, Mick.
But as I said right from the start, and I know I was preempting things, Sean, it just makes the black a little bit harder all of a sudden. At least the other way, he had the just on the red on the along the bottom cushion, and he just made it. But if he was playing this last, he'd have the black in the middle. The black, all of a sudden, he has to get above the red near the centre pocket, so he can float down for the black over to the other right-hand corner pocket. I'm talking in riddles, I know, but
yeah, I think it's the left-hand corner pocket where he's going to be looking for the black here. But I say, as you rightly said, Mick, he's got to get well above that red over the right-hand middle pocket here, and he's missed it.
just made it very hard for himself, didn't he, Sean?
Yeah, as you say, he got out of position in the middle of the table when he didn't really need to. We see the shot here again. He's caught that thick, and he's actually opened that pocket up, so Robert could develop that ball out of the way and free the pocket up completely. I think he might try and do that as early as possible here, because he could take a ball into the left corner pocket, leave himself, and I think he's just looking where he wants to leave himself on that yellow, back into the right hand corner pocket and say, and free that ball away. This is a great chance for Ireland here.
Yeah, and they couldn't have a better man at the table either. This fellow has been a mainstay in the Irish team for certainly as long as I've been involved in World Team Pool.
Yes, I agree with you entirely, Jim. I've known Robert for a long time. Great player, very nice man as well, but excellent mainstay for Ireland over a number of years. As you alluded to, Sean, he's got to play this yellow inside the red. He'd just like to move that red away from the pocket to open those other two along the cushion there.
He's just going to have to trust to a little bit of luck as to where that red goes. Hopefully he'll just drift it over to for him towards the middle of the bottom rail and just well out of the way of his yellows. But this is a big shot here. This could decide the outcome of this frame.
Without doubt. Well, he's played safety, I think. He actually tried to put it over the hole, I think, rather than have a go, Sean. A little bit surprising, but well, it's by no means a bad shot. He's certainly controlling the game, but you'd love the game to have been finished from an Ireland point of view, wouldn't you?
Just wondering if Ivan's looking at coming off the rail here. Behind the yellow he is. And can he pop this red? I don't think he can, but he's certainly trying to take control of the pocket.
Well, I think now, Sean, the opportunity to play this right off the yellow and clear that pocket is definitely there. There's no distance between the ball. He can calculate how to play it off the red to move the red out of the way so the two yellows closest to it go by. And just control the white so he's on the ball in the middle.
No, I don't think so. I think he's playing the containing shot. He's trying to take the pocket here.
Well, obviously, he's just making sure for his team. I think I might have been having a go, but he's out there and I'm not.
Yeah, that's you aggressive Aussies, that is, Mick.
That's giving two shots away, is he, and potting the yellow?
Foul.
And that was always the danger. Now Robert's been forced into a situation where he has to make the play, whereas a minute ago he had the opportunity to remove that red and do it pretty easily.
Yeah, and he'd have still been at the table as well. Like you say, now he's going to have to try and do it by using one of his visits.
Yeah, to open up that pocket. Look, he's still certainly not bad for Robert, but he's just playing that red along to the bottom cushion. Sorry, the yellow to the bottom cushion, so it goes inside that pocket again.
Second visit.
Once again, Sean, will he attack or will he play safety? I really do think that the pocket, very hard to get hold of the pocket. He should be attacking that.
Well, I think he's given him a chance here.
Yeah, so does he, Sean.
Well, they're surprising me every shot, I must admit. I know it's a team situation, but I would have thought they might have had a dip. Does the yellow go inside there, Sean? If it does, he must have a go now, you'd think.
Yeah, I don't think it goes from there now, Mick. I think he's going to have to try and develop it back inside it. Because the thing is, he'd have to somehow get his cue in there. It'd have to be a big stretch.
Yeah, I reckon it's on. I reckon it goes off that jaw. And if it does, it'll move that red out the way.
30 seconds.
Be right for a right-hander. Left-hander's got real strife here, of course. Just pushing the black safe. Just trying to tie up that black.
That's quite a decent shot there from Robert. They say he's just tied the black up with that yellow.
Looks to me like there's a gap for that yellow inside that red, Sean. It's not huge by any means, but he's just rolling this red up to the top pocket. Oh, he's fooled me again. He's just got out into the open. Just a containment shot. He's left Robert right on this yellow off the red that I talked about. Will he go for it? The way they've been playing, I don't think he'll play it.
No, it's a very nervous times out there in the arena. They both know this is a big frame. It's a difference between 5-3 and 4 frames all.
Well, now that he's put the other red safe, he should be going for this. He should be opening this up if he can. There you go. There you go. It was on. Of course, now he's caused himself the problem that he's put that yellow right on top of the black, so he can't finish anymore.
I think he's got an angle here to take the yellow that's closest to the right-hand corner pocket, flick off it, and just disturb the black and the yellow.
Just get the black out of the way here.
Just needs to trust to a little bit of Irish luck here, maybe, as to how this works.
He's played the snooker. It's a very good shot by the looks of it.
Yeah, it would have been very risky if he'd have taken that yellow on, developed the black, missed it, and left the red available. And I think that a sensible choice there. Again, the experience that Robert possesses.
Still back to even money here, though. I mean, that yellow behind the black, means that this is by no means easy for Robert at any stage.
Yeah, you see, the difference was Ivan really had a ball that was in a safe position. He's now developed that out. And Robert has now got to decide what he's going to do here.
Under even more pressure. It's a very good call, Sean. At least Robert had the opportunity to go when there was a red that was half safe a minute ago. Now you're right, they're both over the hole just about. Real pressure here.
Pressure creates diamonds. Robert Brady.
I don't know if I've got an answer for that, Jim.
So, well, take a minute, Mick. You'll come up with something. But Robert surveying the situation.
It does take we Australians a long time to come up with much, let me tell you.
Just send cash.
30 seconds.
All right, still the situation. I wonder if he could play the billiard here. Knock in the other yellow. No, he's elected just to contain him.
He actually tried to snooker him behind the black. I think he just tried to hold the white right on the black, and he may have left him on this red in the middle.
Yeah, he drew back a little further than he wanted to. Look, a concern, certainly.
It's a very thin cut here for Ivan Rizzo.
Good rewards at the end of it if you're able to pot it, though.
And that
Foul, 2 visits.
is a horrific miss from Ivan, and you don't need to tell him, nor Team Malta. Just by a whisker.
And now the poor old Ivan's feeling a bit sick, but he's certainly tried his butt off in this frame.
Well, he fought himself back into contention. Oh, this is perfect.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I doubt that Robert will even need his second visit.
I mean, the pressure he must be feeling out there is the weight of the whole of the Irish team on his shoulders. And if you've seen a couple of the Irish team, they're not exactly lightweights there. Big John McMahon. But certainly the Irish will be raising the volume at the end of this frame.
And tightening the vice grip as they edge closer to the finish line. The 8 goes down, and Team Ireland vault in front 5-3, and Robert Brady's letting them all know it. They need 3 more to become the world team champions. But Malta has to have this next frame.
5 frames.
And who better to call on than the man who came top of the tables in the standings? The percentages won. Duncan Bedzina from Team Malta comes up dry. Frame number 9. And the table turned over to Team Ireland once again.
Yeah, Willie Rowley will be glad about that, because all he had in the first session was a break shot that saw Ivan Rizzo come to the table and clear up. So, and this is one of the other bright young stars of this Ireland team, along with Shane O'Hara. He's had an excellent championship, Willie Riley has.
30 seconds.
And
Be after the yellows, you think, Sean? Doesn't look like any easy red to start with anyway, but yellows look like the boss.
yeah, because
Yellow ball's in play.
I thought he was just trying to nudge that red out of the way then, because that's possibly covering the yellow.
I think that's
Which
his
is a
only
bottom
problem
left.
ball. I
That's-
think you're right, Sean.
And he's tried
Looking at it now.
Yeah, he's tried to develop it straight away, which is always a good thing. He's just looking now, does it pass that red? And I don't think it does.
Does it go into this centre pocket where his hand is now? That's the other option. It may go into that. Oh, gee, it looks like just may go in here, I think.
He's queuing at it, so he thinks it goes, maybe. He's just looking where and he needs to leave the cue ball after this yellow into the middle.
30 seconds.
Well, he'll never get a chance to get on it any better than off this yellow into the center.
It is perfect if it's on. And of course, all the rest of them are at his mercy. All the rest look pretty easy. Gone a long way. He's made it difficult. There's no question.
I think he'd like to have been a little straighter on this.
Straight on it. But if it goes, his automatic position looks like it's on.
Yeah, the red's just hiding a little bit of that pocket. He hasn't got a full pocket here, I'm sure. And with having quite an angle on the cut.
The position isn't a problem because he's got the other yellow back to the middle pocket next. It's just a matter of potting the ball. But you're right, Sean. He's only got half a pocket. Must play it, I think. Does go in the other middle.
That's right. I think he was just having a look just to make sure that it passes into the right-hand side pocket. He's got a lot of work to do, though, if he's going to try and work that cue ball back into position to attack that difficult yellow.
It's getting harder and harder by the second, Jim. He's would have liked to have been on the yellow closest to the top cushion, but it looks like he's hidden behind the red.
And we always say in these games, it's always best to attack your bad ball as early as possible. It looks like Willie, maybe that bad ball of Willie's might be left till the end.
30 seconds.
Long, dodgy yellow.
Is he trying to get the other yellow into the open as he does it?
Red ball's in play.
Well, that was a difficult attempt. Certainly it would have been a great shot had he gotten it, but the way he played it, it was almost negative because he was taking the cue ball down to the cushion.
I think he might have been looking for the next one into the middle pocket, actually. Hasn't been a bad result. Good safety. Great safety by Duncan there. Great safety.
Duncan, too, looked awesome. He kicked things off here for Team Malta, and you know, anytime representing a country in a world team event, if they put you out first, you know they're confident in your ability.
He looks very cool too, doesn't he? He's just very calm. It's a great shot he's just played. There's no real possible way he was going to finish there. So the less balls you pot right at the stage, the better off you are. You need as many balls on the table to use to get position on the average ones later on.
Yeah, that's not bad. He's developed that ball away from that corner pocket while Duncan's still got that red tied up with the two yellows just above the black spot. You know, he just looks like he might be leaving himself an angle to try and develop that red here. He's certainly quite an attacking player, Duncan, and he's done it. But I think it will only still go into that right-hand middle pocket. It certainly won't go into the bottom right or bottom left pockets. Well, it may do. Looking from the overhead shot we see there.
And Willie's been very impressive in this tournament. He is an attacking young man, there's no question of that. But Duncan especially has been fantastic. Red goes in the middle. It looks like the only spot it goes.
Missable. Not today.
Did catch the knuckle a little bit actually, Jim, there.
Screw off this down for the red into the middle pocket. He's snookered himself. Oh, he might be on there.
He's cued his cue very quickly there. Chalked his cue very quickly. He thinks he's on it.
It's on at the top, I think.
Some shake there
On up the
on
top.
Duncan Betsina, and he's missed. Has he covered that pocket? He hasn't. And this is now a fantastic chance for Willie Riley to extend his team's lead to 3 frames.
And I don't think Willie expected to get to the table again. So this is almost like a lifeline. Glorious opportunity.
Yeah, the famous get out of jail free card has been played.
And as I said a minute ago, this man's been very impressive in this tournament. Whenever I've seen him, he seems to have just composed himself beautifully and finished off most games he's played.
If he secures this frame, gets to 6-3, you've just taken out the 2 best players from Team Malta. I mean, surely there can be no way back for them. Key shot right here. Position to the last yellow.
I think he'll get up to it, Jim, but I think he would have liked more angles, so he could have just screwed straight up the middle of the table. He may have to... He's a bit straight on this.
Might just try and pinch a little bit the pocket, come back.
Screw back without missing that. He's got to miss that centre pocket.
Miss the centre pocket. He's just above it. And then back across the table, and he should be okay. You see there, he's putting a lot of right-hand spin on
just
this.
Trying to go up the middle of the table. Oh, he's gone through.
He's gone the other way.
He has got on it. Good shot.
Probably got as much mustard into that cue ball as possible. Great shot from Willie there. And the beauty of this shot,
double-edged. He's double-edged. Over the pocket if he misses, Jim.
Exactly right. Even if it doesn't go in. I mean, ideally, you'd like to see this disappear, but if it doesn't go in, he's going to be leaving Duncan in a world of hurt.
30 seconds.
Whoa.
Well, there was no way he was leaving that over the pocket at that pace. And that's a great shot from Willie Riley.
Well, he's just overrun. Ideal position to the 8. This is going to be played into what we call a blind pocket. And that's where your line of sight is looking away from the intended pocket. Never easy.
Yeah, that cue ball looked like it was going to stop perfect for him. It's just run on.
He's missed it. Well, but he's left a long red with an angle to make it very difficult indeed for Duncan to try and hold position to the 8.
Well, team pressure, Jim. We see it once again, don't we? Unbelievable. He's gone.
I was going to say it's impossible. Oh, and he's pocketed the cue ball. I was just going to say it's almost impossible to hold for that. He's going to go around the table and he's lost the cue ball into that corner pocket. And he's just handed the frame to Willie Riley.
Really not enough time there, Sean. He just needed to really compose himself and just think about that really carefully.
Well, it was a mighty flail falling short, but in the end, Willie Riley and Team Ireland extend their impressive lead, 6-3 over Team Malta.
And we see it again here, around the table. And that's a bad mistake, really, because he was never, I don't think he was going to get back in position anyway.
It's in the books now, 6-3, Ireland over Malta.
Ireland to break, leading 6 frames to 3.
And now up, John Cullum for Team Ireland, up against Adrian Camilleri for Team Malta, and no more mistakes can be allowed for Team Malta. And it's Cullum with the break here in frame number 10. Well, there's the first chance for Malta.
Yeah, he's lost the cue ball there, and that's a basic error in the break shot.
On visits, open table, time running.
He's hit the pack, probably just fraction that front ball on the right hand side as he looked, and it's gone into that left hand middle as we look. And we see here again. Yeah, definitely the right hand side of that red.
Under normal pressure here, you'd expect you'd expect Adrian to finish these on the yellows, but as we've alluded to already, there's no such thing as normal pressure out there at the moment.
This is anything but normal pressure. And the emotion, Maltese, they always wear their hearts on their shirt sleeves, Mick, and I mean, you can really dip into that well of emotion and use it, but only when things are going good.
Yeah, when things are going well, it's great. When things aren't going as well, they're not going terribly well now. They need to remain really calm right at the moment. They need this frame desperately. Not a great shot there. I think he wanted just to clip that red and open up the yellow for the centre pocket, but I don't know why. The yellow's on down the bottom. He just needs to play good position.
His teammates look on there with expectation and anticipation of Adrian taking this finish out.
30 seconds.
They all know he needs to.
Do you think it was anticipation or resignation? Because, you know, I mean, we talked about the emotion that the Maltese have, and there was a perfect example of the lack thereof. But that was a great shot there. He's just instantly, with one good positional shot, Adrian has manufactured a frame-winning opportunity.
In the first session, he looked quite calm when he first got out there, having followed Stanley Kearcott, but he had a little rush of blood near the end of the frame and ended up presenting a great chance to Shane O'Hara, who gleefully took that chance.
30 seconds.
A little edgy. That bridge hand moved a bit, didn't it, after the cue went through?
Very good shot though. He's got the yellow up to the top corner. Leaves him easily on the yellow closest to the black.
You see the bridge hand up. I mean, that looked like Alex Higgins in the 80s.
Alex didn't miss much though, did he, Jim?
Well, the movement was all after the cue had been delivered, Mick, and that's the key.
Just has to get back on that black, so he needs to be probably just pretty straight on this yellow or just a fraction below it, so he's not kissing into the red. Yeah, just so he follows through onto this next yellow, gets perfect on it to get back to the black.
And certainly that's going to be the key shot. That'll be crunch time position from the last yellow to the black.
Played it very well, I think, Jim.
But how many times have we seen it either overhit or underhit?
Well, this is the big shot, isn't it? He can screw back for the black in the same hole or back to the corner where the white is. There's lots of options here. Realistically, he should get on this black somewhere.
I like the fact he's taking time right now and just gathering himself and completely committing to his decision.
Yeah, I think that's what didn't happen in the first session. The shot that he missed, he just got straight to the table and rushed it. This now is a massive shot in his championships for Malta. And has he done it? He's finished very close to that black. I think he can get it.
I think he can get it, but the white's kissing into those reds.
But where is the white ball going to go, Mick?
That's the real key.
Look at the anxiety written all over the faces of his teammates in behind him.
Mario there in the background, he couldn't bear to look.
I don't think any of us expected him to try and get above the black.
Well, it was one of the options I talked about. I thought he could have gone back to the same hole or above it like that, but gee, this has got difficult all of a sudden. Tough black,
30 seconds.
And the white ball is travelling, kissing into the reds. Has to have a little bit of luck here and play good pot at the same time.
Well, he's going to have to dig into this a lot to try and keep that cue ball away from the reds. No, he isn't.
And he's going into the reds.
He's always going into them.
Oh, the cue ball has gone into the middle. He made the 8, and that's loss of frame. He offers his hand. Ireland goes another one away from Team Malta. 7-3 now. A Christmas gift come early for John Cullum.
12th frame, Ireland to break. Leading 7 frames to 4.
A real boost for Team Malta. And now, down to a man who didn't play in the opening round, one of the reserves. And breaking off Gavin Garrity for Team Ireland, and for Malta, it's Jesmyn Schembri. Nothing down for Gavin. And a man we haven't seen as yet.
Open
going to be called into service. 7-4 in favor of Team Ireland.
And again, Jim, this is one of the new phases on the Maltese team this year.
Going to have to pull off something very big. Playing the combination, I think. Red onto the yellow into the centre, and he's missed it by a long way. Left the reds up.
30 seconds.
Well, this is where I think maybe the Maltese have got the team selection wrong, to be honest. They've loaded the big guns at the beginning. They did it in the first session, and it worked for them, and they thought, we'll do it again. But it's obviously not worked for them. They lost those first 3, I say, and 2 of those were their big guns, Ivan Rizzo and Duncan Betzina. Suggested Gavin's taking reds here. This just needs a good shot along the rail, and he's missed it. So at least Jesmyn's going to get the chance to come back and make some amends for that first shot he's had.
Thirty seconds.
Looks like he overlaps his finger onto the second one as he cues, and a very unique bridge hand.
With the thumb out to the side, that's very interesting.
Certainly a very unique style. He's hoping that it works for him in this frame. He's looking at maybe just trying to develop that yellow out. He hasn't. He's tied the 2 reds up because those are the 2.
The one that's on the outside of those, the yellow and the 2 reds there, looks like it's still on in the corner. So, yeah, I think he's probably just looking for any way of stopping Gavin right at the moment.
I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to accomplish there. I almost thought it might have been worth having a go at the red he was closest to, just to, I mean, even if he didn't get it, he developed it, and
really, that was the red you're talking about, Jim, was the only red that had any difficulty. All of the rest of his reds were on. That was a strange shot he just played.
I mean, obviously, Jesmond has a long way, an arduous way through to the finish line in this frame. He's got that yellow just beside the one he's looking at now. He's just trying to gain control of this pocket. Didn't want that to go in, and he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, that's a great shot there from Jesmond. I say it'll probably just settle his nerves a little bit, because he's looking at playing the tactical foul here, trying to leave the cue ball maybe tucked in behind that yellow. It's on the bottom rail.
Well, I think he has to free this pocket. Bad yellow up the other end, and one bit tied up behind those 2 reds there. So I think this is the right shot. Oh, he's played it very well.
Fantastic shot from Gavin Geraghty there.
Time out.
There's not many cue sports that you play an intentional foul and you can benefit from it. But certainly Team Ireland love the way that Gavin executed that particular foul.
I think that's the unique thing about our great game, Jim. It does allow for tactical play in the shape of potting the opposition's ball at times, and it's a great facet of our game as far as I'm concerned.
I think we've missed there. The referee must have called touching ball there. As you see, Jesmond's just played away from that, and he's just going to cover that pocket again now, I think.
We've got the angle, if he so chooses, to try and develop the only difficult yellow. You can see the yellow he's on to the corner pocket, and I mean, it's got the perfect angle to take the cue ball into that awkward yellow.
Nerve-wracking times, best of 1 frame. Side needs 4 more frames, if my maths are correct, of course.
And you know something, you know you're only getting out there for 1 frame. You want to you know, enjoy your time in the sun.
30 seconds.
Well, I talked earlier about always wanting to be the last man, hitting the last ball to win a world title. By the same token, you don't want to be the last man to have lost it.
Well, he's played the tactical foul here again, Jim, but well, it'd be a difficult. Certainly, he's left him a difficult first shot. If he is able to pot a ball with his first visit, there's some chance here.
No, I'm sorry, I can't see him going out from here, Mick.
Neither can I, but stranger things have happened, I will say. No.
Second, is it?
So does he come back and cover this hole again?
Well, to be honest, that was a nothing shot, really, because he's put that slightly awkward now. He wants to keep the yellows that he's got out into the middle of the table more, so it makes, if he does get on a finish, it makes them as easy as possible. He's already got one that's tied up on the top rail. So he's left that one.
Looks like he's going to knock this in the way he's cueing.
Well, he's got rid of one of his balls, and really the only shot he has here is to put this yellow over the hole. Very difficult shot from where he is. It's just as likely not to get the hole or go in, and if it goes in, well, if it goes in, he's in all sorts of strife.
Well, he's started digging a hole here, and he's played off the red again. This is a strange way he's going about this. I just cannot understand what he's doing here.
Each yellow that departs the playing surface is getting him in trouble.
Allows the opponent more room for tactical play to leave him off balls and things like that. Unless you go in game, you should only be developing balls. You shouldn't be potting balls. Well, he's going to try and cover this hole again. Straight double up and down the table. Not easy though.
Oh, had that dropped, he'd have been dead.
And as it turns out, it's a wonderful shot.
He knew exactly what he was doing all the time.
Jim, I give up.
Look at his teammates there. They're all. There's a little smile there from Stanley, who's sitting this session out, but he's thinking he's the only one that found it funny, I think.
I think I'm going to go back to school after that.
Just a terrific shot. I mean, he left it very late, but this yellow, as I said, had that gone in, and it came so close.
Yeah, I mean, it's hit both knuckles and stayed out somehow.
Well, I don't think the option of the professional foul's here anymore, Jim. I don't know if he can pot it anymore. Foul snookers come into play.
No, you won't see Gavin playing a foul here, and certainly not an intentional one.
Boy, what a shot from Jesman.
He's just doubling this ball across the table, getting out from that side.
Yeah,
keep him off the bad yellow.
You bet. He'd like nothing better than to see this yellow taken off the table. And in so doing, he's moved a red away from the bad side of the table too. So that's what he can do.
I don't know whether Jesman was just looking of potting this yellow and trying to disturb those two reds. It's a risk, but no, he's not. He's going to try and go across the table. He's in a great risk here of giving 2 visits away.
He's just going to push the red back over the other side, I think, Sean. Or even the black, but he's not going for anything here.
Foul.
Push the black over there. Yeah, that's an average shot. It's a very unattacking shot, isn't it? It's not a positive shot in any way.
Yeah, because really that black should have been over, as you said, towards that hole.
Certainly the Irishman here is
30 seconds.
He's just going to have to waste some time.
See the Irish team there discussing which way they'd go. Shane O'Hara, John Collum, very experienced player.
They'll just be pulling balls out of there, I think, and just snooking him on the bad yellow again with the second visit.
Second, is it?
Little cat and mouse, and not really sure who's who at this moment in time.
Well, I think we could be here for a while, Jim, actually. I really feel like the man on the yellows had control and maybe should have been a bit more positive. Wouldn't want to let time run out, of course, Sean, because as you mentioned in an earlier program, that the option of in a time foul situation, you can move the white ball back to the bulk area.
That's
Is that
quite
correct?
You can have cue ball in hand on a time foul. I'm going to say quite a few players forget that, but I don't think it'd have done Gavin any good there, having cue ball in hand anyway. So he might have, as you say, that would have been an option for him. I still think if he's going to play a foul, he ought to try and develop that blackout, because if he gets his 2 visits, he's tried to do it there. It's quite a good shot. He's actually disturbed now the yellow and the 2 reds.
Well, isn't it interesting? Gavin's been the attacker here, which is a really good thing as far as I'm concerned. I think the man from Malta should have been having a go a little bit earlier than this, and Gavin's taken the opportunity. He's got the black half safe, and he said, yeah, I'm going to have a go at these a little bit. And all of a sudden he's not going game, but he's got control of the game with that black safe where it is.
And that was a nice little nudge there off the cue ball. That red, it was coming back anyway towards the black, but it's just sealed it in there.
Got to be very careful, though. These are times where memories are made.
30 seconds.
And you just know that Jesman wants to depart here. Oh,
Foul, 2 visits.
he's given the foul, but again, no danger. I don't know whether he was trying to hit that red or not. It wouldn't have mattered.
He's just leaving the white where it is. He make him waste the first shot.
I thought he might have been trying to just get it away, because it looks like there might be a 3-ball plant there.
Second visit.
Second visit in now.
Can he afford to give him 2 shots? Sure, maybe not. He leave him on the yellow up the top.
No.
But he may be developing a situation where he can at a later date.
I think what he's going to do now is maybe look at developing those reds. He's going to play
Just
one
get
onto
them out of there?
No, he
Yeah.
isn't. No. Oh, he's tried to cover it, and he has. He's played the foul.
Let me tell you, it's not a bad shot, okay? If he can't pop that yellow in one shot, that black is very tied up. I don't disagree with the tactics here at all.
No, that's a fair point, Mick.
Couple of options he's got here, Jim. He could cross double the yellow, but he needs to get it in one, or he could just slide off it, put it down back inside the red where he was just given 2 shots. But gee, then the black's got to be got out of there. You know, there's really he's going for the cross double. He needs 2 shots on that black, of course. This is probably the right option, I think. And very unlucky.
Well, second visit in
now.
now.
He's in real strife.
And he's just knocked a red in there and tied that black up even more now. And this makes it doubly difficult. And I say, the pendulum swims back to Ireland.
Tried to get hold of the pocket where the black is, but he's in real strife now. And tactically, Gavin has been fantastic in this frame. He's just turned around a really negative situation and turned it around to a very positive one for himself. Great play by Gavin.
Yeah, I think a couple of times the Maltese player, Jesmond, has had the chance to maybe go game, but he's decided not to.
Very good shot from Gavin. Probably a winner. Get 2 visits. And then he'll be having a go at them, one would suggest.
And I think it's really only a matter of time before he extracts that foul from Jesmond. He's got so many options. And I mean, to the layman who might think yellows are in front right now, that's the exact opposite.
And we talked about this earlier in the frame, Jim, when he was potting balls that we said we really didn't think he should be potting. And he's ended up in a situation where he's behind in the ball count and just too many snookers available for the other man.
2 visits.
Has he been lucky there? That cue ball's finished extremely close to that red. It's not touching it. So he's maybe giving Gavin a chance here.
Sounded like a miscue.
It sounded like a push shot in snooker, Jim. It sounded like he hit it twice, but under our rules, the umpire actually has to see it make contact twice, so it isn't a foul in our game.
In other words, he needs our slow-mo camera.
Correct. And even then, like I said, the umpire needs to see it hit twice before he can actually call it as a foul. Push shots, as in the world of snooker, are allowed in our game.
Yeah, providing they're played at speed. As Mick said, they're not seen by the referee. They can't be called. Again, one of the little areas that causes some concern with referees, I know. Well, he's tried to develop him out, but
Second visit.
I know he's not left anything easy.
Nothing easy, but he's still got pretty good control. He can play the red up the top with reasonable safety, get on the one away from the other side. He's got options here. I'm sure he's very nervous there.
Well, this is probably the biggest moment in Gavin's pool career to date. And he's made that ball.
I don't know, though. I think he's got to shoot the one nearest the bottom left if he's going to try and win here.
I agree with you entirely, Jim. He's got to be brave enough to take the red near the black. Otherwise, the position on the black is just going to be very, very hard. Well, he's not going our way.
And now he's changed his mind, and I wonder if they sense a celebration coming.
30 seconds.
Good on him. He's taking the right option. Still a great shot.
Yeah, the beauty of that shot was he's covered that pocket and he's left the cue ball at the table. He's not left anything for Jesmond here.
Still a great shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, it's better that didn't go in, because I don't think he'd have fancied the long red, knowing he might have had to roll it and would have left the yellow if he missed it.
Give the man credit, though. He played what we considered the right shot. Under the pressure, it was, good on him. But you're right, Jim. The next shot wouldn't have been too flash, would it?
Got to admit, I don't think he'd have been rolling it, Jim.
Cut the yellow in, knock the black out. Big shot here.
30 seconds.
He hasn't had a go. And that's just a nothing shot.
He's still got to play. Sorry, Sean, I was going to say he's still got to play. Good shot here.
Playing the cross double, is he, Jim, you think?
Well, that's what he's eyeing up. If he gets it.
Safe wide if he misses.
Yeah, and watch the Irish team if he gets it.
And he has. Down it goes. It's just a little, they all rose out of the seats there, the Irish. They may be winding themselves up for a celebration. John McMahon, can't look. He's got his eyes closed.
I thought somebody wake him up.
And this black for the World Team Championship.
Steady your nerve. Gavin Garrity, this is your time. It is there, and Ireland, for the first time ever, are the World Team 8-ball champions. The celebration starts now.
What a fantastic performance from Ireland, Sean. Just first-time world champions, and you can see how
the atmosphere out there now is fantastic. These Irish lads, they'll be partying tonight. They've been quiet all week, and I'm sure they won't be quiet tonight.
In the end, a fantastic victory for Ireland, and we were just talking, myself and Lee Kendall, about the fact that it's something like 10 finals they've been in, both at this level in Europe and everything, and they've never won. This is the first time.
Yeah, they're relieved to get that monkey off the back. To actually win a world title is good by any standard, but when it's your fourth attempt, you know, I mean, they'll be so pleased to win this title.
But they deserved it. That was a very tactical game, and perhaps not the most adept at tactical play, those two players we just saw, but the nerves must have just been building.
Yeah, I think the fact that they had got the experience in playing in all those finals put them in good stead, where Malta, it was their first world final, and you could tell the difference of the nerves.
And also, you were saying that Malta have brought, you know, quite a lot of players here, and some good players of the future as well, so there's more to come from Malta.
Yeah, they're a great team. I'm sure they'll be back for another go at the title.
Okay, well, Malta not making it through this time, but Ireland are the winners this time, and Jim Weish has got Malta, though, to talk to them first.
Well, I'm here with, I'm sure, a very disappointed Vincent DiGiorgio, but Vincent, you must be very proud of your team, Malta.
Yes, sure. We started this final very well by winning the first two frames, and we missed some great chances on going to the end of the game. Being a small country, we are very proud to reach this final. In Malta we have limited resources, and so by reaching this final, it's a big achievement.
You had a massive win over Wales in the semi-finals. You've got a very young side. You know you're going to be back in this final again.
Yes, we hope so. We'll be looking forward to be here again next year, and hopefully we'll be again in the final, and hopefully we'll win the final.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to that as well. Well done, Team Malta, and thank you very much for...
Well, certainly gracious in defeat, and I think we will see Malta back. They've been a revelation, really, throughout the corridors of the hotel here this week. They have enjoyed every day they've been here, and OK, they've lost the final, but I think they've enjoyed every minute they've been in, and they will be back next year. Let's go to the winners, though. They are Ireland. Finally, they're with Jim Weish.
Our team manager, John McGee, from a winning Team Ireland. Do you think there'll be a few pints lifted tonight, John?
I can't see it, to be honest. These guys don't normally touch the drink, you know.
Well, you must be absolutely elated. I'm looking underneath, and I see there's a cloud 9 underneath all these guys.
Well, I think so. Obviously, what the main feeling today is a sense of satisfaction, a job well done. The fact that we've been coming here for about 12 years now, and we've been beaten in 3 finals previously, and we got a huge monkey off our back yesterday when we beat Team England, fantastic world champions and perennial finalists. And what's different about our guys this year is they believe in each other and they believe in what they're here to do, and we're just very, very pleased.
Well, you certainly showed it. Very well done, Team Ireland. And now I'd like to introduce our presentation committee, our tournament director, Mr. Alan Benton, along with our sponsors from ImproveYourPool.com, John Beagle.
Commiserations first. Commiserations.
And first, I guess, to our team finalists, commiserations again to a game, Team Malta. But what can you say about Team Ireland? The 2006 ImproveYourPool.com winners, Team Ireland.
Great celebrations, and I'm sure they'll go long into the night. Lee Kendall, as the captain of England, I've got to ask you this. Are you chomping at the bit to get back at them next year?
Yeah, we'll be back, try and regain our title, but full credit to Ireland. They deserve it this year. They played very well.
Thanks, Lee. Well, a great afternoon of pool just played there by Ireland. They've finally done it. Ireland are the new world champions. We'll see you next time.